Good morning, Sentinels, and today I'm going to be talking about the connection between breathing, cats and polar bears. Now, what's that got to do with ADHD? Well, there was a study done in 1981 by the Institute of Global Neuroscience, I think it was, Journal of Neuroscience. And it was carried out by a guy called Robert Keith Wallace, Michael Dilbeck, Elijah, what was his name, Jacoby, and Beth Hastings, I think it was. And they basically studied if when you meditate, which for some people is a bit too woo-woo, for me it certainly was, I basically just started off breathing. I did that when I was 26. Oddly enough, after about 3 weeks, it changed my mentality completely. Up until that particular point in time, I'd probably, if I'm honest with myself, probably did some things that were so dangerous, I was more or less, to all intents and purposes, the outside world trying to kill myself. But this isn't actually about that. If you're thinking about the positive effects for if you have ADHD, this one thing, ladies especially, men possibly as well, the study was carried out on a group of people. I think it was 84 people in total. They were all an average of 53 years old, and they checked to see what their biological and their physical, obviously they knew how old they were, but there was a biological age that they checked. Now, the interesting thing is when the people meditated, so I just call it breathing because that's basically more or less what it is. That's 66% of the actual plus side of it. If you just rhythmically, calmly breathe and imagine a circular process so that you're breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And take that, box breathing is the simplest way of doing it. After a short period of time, the control group was, I think, they were fairly fit, so they were about their biological age was 2.2 years minus, so of their actual age that was taken. But the people who meditated, it was 5 years. The biological age was 5 years better than the control group. And if you'd been doing it long term, it was 12 years. Now, quite frankly, whether, aside from the pluses it has on your day as such, if you've got ADHD and you've got problems with self-regulation, that you feel calmer, more collected. I presume when you're looking at this, if you look at some of my previous videos, and it's an evening, or I've had a very long day, so I get up at 4:30 and I've been awake until sort of 11 at night, that's a long day. Then you may notice there is a difference between myself then, when I'm tired, or the beginning of the day, which is when I've been doing my breathing exercises, which I do walking, by the way. I don't actually sit down because having ADHD and lying down or keeping still is one of the things that we generally have difficulty with. I'm sure if you have it, you'll know what I mean. So, that said, it has great benefits for your health in general, obviously. It has benefits for your head, keeps you clear, allows you to make sensible decisions when otherwise you may not, and remember your values and your principles when you're making those decisions in the actual moment that you're making them, rather than just being some sort of default